Hi, my name is Paige Bayer, and the name of my business is SV Local Market, or svlocalmarket.com. SV Local Market is similar to, you could think about it as an online farmer's market. I like to say that it's like a grocery store but more local, like a CSA but more flexible, or like a farmer's market but more convenient. And what we do is we partner with local food providers and local farmers to then provide their food in an online ordering capacity to local people in Silicon Valley, and specifically in San Jose to start. There's two aspects of how this type of business can serve the customers and the community. So for the customers that we're really targeting are people who might not otherwise be stepping into the local food world. They might be interested in it. They are prepared to spend what might be more money for a better food product, but they're just too busy and it's not convenient for them to make it to a farmer's market, for example, on a certain schedule. So to them, what we're trying to do is provide the ability to step into that market and to get that healthier, better food. And then for the community in general, this is something that really helps our community by keeping the local money locally circulating in our community, and it really helps the farmers who obviously sell more product. They'll have a better profit margin than if they were to be selling to a big box store, for example. And it really helps them to create a camaraderie or a connection with these customers, which makes them understand where their food comes from and makes them want to continually support them more. And of course, helping the farmers in the Bay Area helps preserve our land. It helps keep our environment more healthy. So there's really a lot of ways that the business is designed to help everybody. Even if they weren't taking part in the business, they'll still be benefiting from having these wonderful farmers here, from keeping our land in such good condition, and from reaping the benefits of the environment. I think now is the right time because the local food movement has really taken off, and I think that even people who are unable to participate in it really get it now. They understand the importance, they understand the value, and they really might want to be looking for ways to start taking part in that. They might not be ready to join a CSA and cook with chard and kohlrabi and things that they're not used to cooking, for example. But they'd really be happy if they had the ability to get locally grown chicken, or locally pastured eggs, or local fruit from some of our amazing orchards here that provide some of the best fruit for the whole country. They would be happy to do that if they had an ability and a convenient way to do so. Where my heart lies is that I really want to make this successful for the farmers. I want to, there are a lot of young farmers starting out now, and I want to provide a venue for them to sell into the communities and make it so that it's a profitable business for them to be in. I want to help these farmers create a better profit margin than, like I said, than they might get from a big box store. I want other people to be able to understand the breadth and the amount of food that we have every day in our community that we don't necessarily see in the stores. I mentioned kohlrabi a minute ago, and a lot of people don't even know what a kohlrabi is, and they don't understand what it tastes like, or they don't really get to experience a Blondheim apricot, which is native to our area and is really only grown here, and it's so tasty and wonderful. It just doesn't do as well in a supermarket. So I have goals that have to do with growing that awareness, growing the businesses for the farmers, and then of course growing the business for myself in a way that I can help the community further by being able to hire other people and just grow the business in that way. The way that I looked at applying for the loan as well as the opportunity for the grant was looking at what my operating costs were going to be over the next year, and being sure that I could cover those operating costs so that in the beginning, as I'm getting the business going, I don't feel as stressed about the day-to-day costs of running a business. So a lot of the grant money would go towards the operational costs, the marketing. I have I have several local food bloggers that are going to be doing some advertising for me, as well as partnering with other local businesses. So there's a small amount of marketing and advertising costs. I'm also would be really excited to launch a canned food CSA that I'm going to do as a part of the business called Local Food All Year Long. And what that does is it makes it possible for people in the beginning of a season to say, sure, I will pay X amount of dollars for X amount of canned food staples, so that when the season is over, I have that available to me in my cupboard. So these are things like canned peaches, canned pears, stewed tomatoes, dill pickles, really the basics, not jams and more fancy things, but things that people cook with and want to eat with all the time. The things that Silicon Valley used to be very famous for. So by doing that, that allows us to buy from farmers when there's an abundance of a particular crop. If it's a fabulous tomato year, then the people who take part in the canned food CSA would be able to have more cans of tomatoes, but maybe it wasn't as great of a peach year, so maybe they're not going to get as many jars of peaches. But like a CSA, it helps them take in the risk and reward of working with farmers who have to deal with the climate on an everyday basis. And it helps the farmers to get rid of their abundance, and it helps the people who take part in the canned food CSA to get great kind of canned food at a great price, which is something that really isn't really happening right now in terms of canned food anymore on a local basis. So I just want to thank you again for considering me for this startup grant. My name is Paige Bayer, and my site is SV Local Market. You can check it out at svlocalmarket.com. The SV stands for Silicon Valley. Thank you again. I'm very grateful for the opportunity.